Hi, welcome back. So in this video lesson, we'll learn about test monitoring. So to remind you, we are in the first chapter of our Advanced Test Manager Certification course. And within that first chapter, we are talking about the first topic, and that is test planning, monitoring and control. So let's get going. So before we try to understand what is test monitoring, let's think about this situation. Let's say you are a test manager and you have access to a test management tool within a project where the first test execution project milestone has been reached, and you are required to retrieve the metrics. From the list below, we have 5 items below. Which metrics do you think can best be used to help ensure completeness and consistency with the test objectives? Again, to ensure completeness and consistency with your test objectives, test strategy and the test plan. So out of the 5, you have to select one. So let us talk about the first one. Percentage of risks covered by tests executed, percentage of defects still unfixed, and percentage of statement coverage. What do you think? Are all the 3 items relate to some metrics that will help you to understand the completeness and consistency of your testing with respect to your test objectives, test strategy and the test plan? Yes, maybe the risks covered and statement coverage can be potential one, but not definitely the percentage of defects still unfixed. That indicates something about the progress, not about the completeness and consistency. So it is a false statement. The second point there is confirmation and regression test status. Confirmation testing is also called retesting. So retesting and regression test status, root cause analysis results and confidence that the product should be shipped. Does it give you the consistency and completeness metrics? No. Maybe the regression test status may tell you, but not definitely the root cause analysis and the confidence about the product. So it's a false statement. The third item is there, planned test cases passed and failed during execution, priority and severity of all raised defects and percentage of risks covered by the tests executed. All the 3, do they talk about the consistency and completeness issue about your testing project? Definitely the planned test cases and past versus failed is not related to completeness. It's more a progress related thing, and priority and severity is also not really about completeness and consistency. But the third one, the risks covered by the test executed can be. So it is not a statement that can be considered as a completely true statement. So it is a false statement. You are right. The fourth statement, let's read. Planned test cases blocked or skipped during test execution, percentage of requirements covered by test cases and percentage of identified risks covered by tests executed. What do you say? Yes, planned test cases blocked or skipped will talk about completeness of your test execution. Percentage of requirements covered by test cases, it talks about the completeness and consistency aspect, and also the risks covered by the test executed. Yes, this is a complete true statement and it's the right statement for this question. The fifth point is planned testing budget against actual testing budget used. The phase of defects were introduced, detected and removed, and percentage of risks covered by tests executed. Not all the 3 will talk about completeness and consistency from the metric standpoint. So it is again a false statement. So with this understanding, let us try to understand what is test monitoring. So test monitoring is all about the supply of timely and accurate information on which we can make, as test managers, informed decisions about our test projects. So again, let me repeat, monitoring is all about the supply of timely and accurate information on which we can make informed decisions. This is a very important aspect of being a test manager. It's not an easy, trivial task. You have to think upfront, a lot of things. You have to communicate with other stakeholders and establish what we call a monitoring framework upfront. So these are all very important aspects of test management. Let us understand it. So in order for a test manager to provide efficient test control, a testing schedule and monitoring framework need to be established upfront. So this is a very important task of a test manager. To provide efficient test control, you have to create a testing schedule and monitoring framework, which we will talk about what is this schedule and monitoring framework in the next lesson, but this needs to be established by test managers. So let us talk about this little bit. So test monitoring, the purpose is provide timely and accurate information. And why do we need this timely and accurate information? To support informed decisions about our project, and applicability of test monitoring is throughout the project, and it includes all testing activities. That's why we have called test planning, monitoring and control as an umbrella activity which provides shade to rest of the activities that we perform as part of our fundamental test process. So the third point is metrics to monitor. So typical metrics to monitor are risk information, defect information, tests designed, built, executed, passed, failed, and then test coverage, test effort. These are all metrics to monitor various aspects of your testing project. In the previous example, we talked about completeness and consistency. If it is quality has to be monitored, then a different set of metrics you will use. Progress of the project you want to monitor, then you will use a different set of metrics. So keep that in mind. And as a test manager, it is very important for you to involve the business stakeholders at an early stage in a project. So it will help you define these measures and metrics and the targets. They will help you to provide better control during the project. So keep that in mind. And also by involving early the other stakeholders, it will help you to drive and influence the testing activities throughout the project. You as a test manager may be thinking about the backward, forward, traceability is the most important with respect to your documentation. But business stakeholders may think about the project and the delivery of the project to the end users in a different way. So by involving those business stakeholders early in the project and create this framework, it will help you to monitor the right metrics and monitor better and also control the project. So the second point is stakeholder measures and targets will guide the test manager in appropriate structure of test design, test implementation work products and our test execution schedules. That's what we are talking. Involving stakeholder might alter the way you will look at the overall project's success and this monitoring and controlling framework. And this will help facilitate the accurate monitoring of testing progress against those measures, which are in line with your business stakeholders thinking. That's why it's very important. And just to recap what we learned in this lesson, so in order for a test manager to provide efficient test control, a testing schedule and monitoring framework needs to be established to enable tracking of test work products and resources against the plan. We'll talk about the test monitoring framework in the next lesson. And other point we talked about is this framework should include the detailed measures and targets that are needed to relate the status of test work products and activities to the plan and strategic objectives in line with your business stakeholders thinking. So keep that in mind. Hope you have enjoyed this lesson. So learn and have fun.